Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the last time that we had one of the videos where I only have something like 9 to 14 minutes if I stretch it to make one of these, but I had no choice. So we're in for a no edit, here we go, one and done, because if I have to stop this, then it's like game over, you get no video out. But I'm in very real threat right now because I'm about to go to work and just be super pissy all day at work. And that's a short shift. So I think my coworkers would forgive me, and they're used to Phineas Farmer just being like a little pissy monster man. Because every so often I'm just an emotional boy. I try to be more responsible with my emotions than that. But I'm having a really hard time with this one. And so I'm going to do that thing now where I would pause, and then often I like shift over to simulate like it's a jump cut, but I don't actually have to pause too much to collect my thoughts. So just imagine that was a very excellent jump cut for our, video times. Oh my gosh, I have to keep going because time is so short. Because shoot, I don't want to talk about this one, but I got to because I'm going to be super pissy and I just got to get the emotionality out. Because I've been dealing with jealousy lately, and that's a new emotion body for me. Kind of, because I can be, like, I've gotten better at handling it just when I'm the only person involved, but then also, now that I'm in a relationship, then I can be jealous about other systems, and now that there's just another person involved, so I have to rethink kind of how I'm dealing with it. It's a really big spike right now, though, and there's nothing bad going on. It's all unfounded. We've talked about it. It's not like I'm sitting, stewing in all of this on my own. Like, no, we're golden. It's just you tell my brain that we're golden. It's got to, like, overthink a little bit, and it's got to overthink for way more than the span of a 9 to 14-minute video if we push it. But, we do what we can. So the thing, though, is, because we talked last night about just what I'd been going through, and he was like super supportive, and it turns out it wasn't a big deal, but then to me it still feels like a big deal, but it just, doing great for the most part. Oh. But then today we were talking just a little bit more, and some of it was the journey of some of the online kind of circles that he's been like inviting me into, just like his friends or like Discord chats and things, and just kind of a pretty typical step of getting to know who we are in our relationship, and like, oh hey, yeah, this is some of the communities that I'm part of, and that's really cool to be included in those kinds of communities. But I saw very keenly, and I projected immediately, such a powerful sense of having had wanted to be part of such communities for myself, and I never really could figure it out. And I'd been part of the communities of my real world friends, and they would have different pockets that they would like game with and stuff like that. But I always just had a lot of normie friends, so I really had a hard time identifying with them. And then because I had such a hard time identifying with myself, I am a huge believer in you can only connect with other people to the extent that you can connect within yourself. So I would be part of other communities I could have participated in theoretically, but I wasn't able to be present in those communities because I wasn't able to be present within myself. So that made it not even worth trying because I don't want to be disingenuous, false, I think disingenuous. I don't want to be lying about who I am, and I'll lie about myself to myself. I try to do that less than I ever used to. But being in a community and not knowing how to be myself just felt wrong. I didn't like it, and I just wasn't ever able to join such a community and be used to it. It was one of these communities I really liked that I wanted to be part of, but I just couldn't figure it out. When I went to the Halloween party a while ago, and I was able to go, and then I mostly just went into a corner and filmed a video on my own, very brave but very sad that I couldn't figure it out. And part of the quest there is I decided if I can't find a community, be it online or in the real world, that I identify with and one that I want to get to know better and people to connect with, that I would make my own. And kind of have a little bit. I've got the YouTube channels, and I'm making connections in Resonite, which is so cool. And then somewhere in the journey, I picked up the just a marvelous relationship. Things are going really quite splendid. But due to my own hangups, I haven't yet really made the steps to form such a community. I don't have a Discord. So I'll look at other communities and be like, oh, I want one of those. It's like part of the entire quest. It's been about a year now, and I haven't made the leap to start actually forming my own community, which was part of the mission statement. I'm going to be myself as loudly as I can so people can find me, since I was having a hard time finding other people. Getting firsthand experience of someone I care deeply for, having had experience and currently in experiences of being part of these online communities in the way that I always wished that I could, that's kind of a hard one for me to handle. And I quit drinking a little bit. Like, I quit drinking a while ago. I don't know why I said it that way. And this is the strongest I've had to, like, I want to stop by on the way to work, get a bottle, and drink it at work. I haven't done that for 2 years. That's pretty bad. The most I've done is several months ago. I would go across the street. There's like an establishment near where I work, and so I went and I've had 2 shots in during a lunch break before when I was in an especially like not happening mood. That's really infrequent for me. But to be in the state where I want to actually just buy a bottle, drink at work to take the edge off. Whoa, hold up, buddy. Danger, Will Robinson. We're not going to do that. But I had to do something because there was so much. And it's too much to unpack. And I'm new to this body of emotionality a little bit. And so I just didn't know what to do about it. And what I do sometimes is make videos about it, so at least they live somewhere else, so I can go to work and understand that I did something to try to address all of this and kind of give me a starting point for unpacking a little bit of it. Because I know more or less what the next angle of attack is, and after making this video, which is ultimately little more than introduction to the body of emotionality I'm confronting at present, I'm going to have a little bit more to chew on while I'm at work so I can be constructive in my massive overthink, even though I want to drink so I can shut up my head. At least I'll have somewhere mildly constructive maybe to chew on, so I'm a little bit less of a pissy boy at work. And this is another point where I would absolutely do a jump cut, and I've got 4 minutes left if I push it. So we are in danger of being late to work. But I think even my coworkers would rather me be late to work and not a piss monster all day than go to work and be on time. And then they're like, oh, wow, he's such a piss monster today. But I don't know if I'll have to be late today. I think I could wrap this up because, when examining my boyfriend being part of these online communities and living a form of life I myself had always wanted, that's a problem. So much problem there. Just listing off probably the chief one right away is that's the whole cutting room floor thing. I see an aesthetic on the surface of what it looks like that I would have wanted. Again, though, that itself was not fully realized. I can't think through the fullness of anything. I'm just a little kitty cat man. So what I think it would have looked like and felt like, I see that it looks like that, so I can feel, and it's just so much conjecture and projection goes into that. So immediately we can discard that. It's still something spiky I'm dealing with, but it's not based in any amount of reality. So the premise to my entire problem in my head is absolutely false. And, oh dang it, this would be a jump cut moment. So it's going to be just a quiet moment. I'm going to move over here and pretend that I cut this out, but we're going to do a couple seconds where I'm just going to like try and collect my thoughts. So what a fun video. What a fun video this is. I haven't had one of these in a while. Oh, give me a sec. Seeing a life that I thought that I wanted, but I know that that's not valid. Um, and then it's a frustration within myself for not being able to identify with that. Okay, yes. So here's the thing. I can look at that journey and being part of those systems as a beautiful journey because I've always wanted a journey like that. And you're part of online communities that kind of help you learn more about who you are, and you're able to connect with people and get to know them more in a virtual sense, which I always felt like was meaningful in a very unique way. It's easier for me to hide who I am if I go to a book club in the real world, but online I can present as anything, so why would I choose to present as anything except for myself? I think I might be kind of alone in that mentality a little bit. I don't know what other people are doing, but that's how I feel. To me, it is a beautiful journey. It's one that I wished I could have had, and I wasn't able to figure it out, so I tried making an alternate journey and let people find me instead of me being part of other communities. Now, I look at that journey, being part of other online communities, as beautiful. Does this then mean that I do not consider my own journey to be beautiful? Correct. I do not consider my journey to be beautiful. And I think that's what I'm chewing on at work today because I have a feeling that that might be wrong. It's just a hunch. And I don't like being wrong. So I don't want to be at work thinking about, like, maybe I'm wrong and my journey is beautiful. And I even used a mocking tone of voice, like, oh, wow, what a beautiful journey. And it's like, I'm just a VTubing doofus. And yeah, my hobby landed me in a really magnificent relationship, and there will be a community. The second I make a Discord, people will join in on the Discord. And I have a stupid amount of YouTube channels. All of them are problematic in their own way. So video updates per channel, and then hanging out, and just different, like, I could have community nights right now. I could absolutely, like, and that's a beautiful journey in itself. Little boy, deeply insecure, trying to figure out who he is, buys into VR gear step at a time to try and just doggedly, I want to figure out how to make my way in this world because I was really lost and I just didn't like that, and I wanted to try and be a better version of myself by following through on my senses of whimsy, and just try and live that better life which I imagined was always possible, and it turns out it is possible. I am living that life now. My baseline for days is good. And that's never been the case. And it's been like 2 months of just good days. And I don't, part of, like, I'm starting to just, I don't know. It's becoming normal. I don't know what more to tell you there. And such tremendous things have been happening after it's been about a year of VTubing and really doggedly being Phineas Former and trying to figure that out and how I connect to Phineas Former and then how I connect that within myself. It's been such an excellent journey, and I have a feeling that so many parts of it are beautiful. Guy on his own, trying really hard to figure it out, is no longer on his own. Is happy, is VTubing, is doing his thing, has multiple platforms to express himself as truly and honestly as he can in a magnificent relationship, but is forming other friendships both online and in the real world. Things are amazing right now. And it started from guy struggling super hard, and yeah, I'm still struggling a lot, but I have a feeling that it's a beautiful journey that I've been on, even if it wasn't the one that I would have selected, because it's also been a remarkably challenging journey. I don't know what to do with that, but so much of me looking at my boyfriend and seeing the online communities that he'd been part of and living a life that it looked like I would have wanted to have had I selected my own life, that's a massive problem. Because all of that, I think, is projecting that I wanted a better life, or it's a story that I wanted, and that's a beautiful journey. And I have a feeling that my journey also is beautiful, it's just not something that I see. And I rarely find a lot of beauty within myself, even. And I'm at the point where I can buy in, and I can't say rarely, I'm getting better at, I don't know, actually. I wouldn't use the word beauty to describe myself or my journey. And I can get a little better at trusting other people when they say, oh, you're doing great, you're very handsome and fantastic. I'll be like, all right, well, I trust you. I consider you to be a reliable source, so maybe you're onto something. I'll table it, I'll think about it, you know? I can handle that. And what I'm going to be doing at work today, instead of being just a little pissy rage monster, is I'm going to be thinking through what are the elements of my journey. And I get so mired in where I'm at and where I'm trying to go. And when I look at my past, usually it's like the deep past or something like that, and the regrets that I've had and the things I would have liked to do differently or the injustices or anything like that. And that's only even if I consider the past at all, and certainly don't do it in a proper lens. I don't pay good respect to myself. And what I'm going to be trying to do for the next like 6+ hours is trying to remember where I came from and how beautiful that journey could be if I take myself out of the equation, and to just try and figure that out. That's what I'm doing today, and I gotta go. Dang it, I'm gonna be late to work today, but I won't be pissy about it. So, talk to you guys later. Thanks for, like, checking out my video. What a good video. We haven't had one like this for a while, and we were due. Have a good day.